Welcome to my classroom. I'm going to give you a little tour of what my classroom looks like and how the kids kind of use the supplies and how they travel throughout the room during the day. So sit back, watch, and enjoy. So my kids come through our door in the morning, obviously, and all of their names are on the door. I kind of put that up in the beginning of the year to welcome them and to make them feel like they're part of the community. And then if you look over here, they walk in and I have a whiteboard along the front of my classroom, and on this whiteboard in this one section I put a lot of math information. So when we do facts together, we go ahead and see if we can beat ourselves each day, see how many we can get correct. We also have a number of the week where we try and compose and decompose that number, so I put that up there. And then for each lesson that I do, I try and put a little artifact to remind the students of what we learned that day during our lesson. So that's kind of like a flow chart of what we've learned so far in math. And then if we look at the other side of the board, over here I have some of my behavior information. So we as a school have an acronym called SOAR, which means being safe, being on task, acting responsibly, and being respectful. So I have those SOAR rules up. And then also I have my traffic light with clothespins with each child's name on it. And then above that, I have a sun where if the children stay on green all day, then we get a ray of sun. And if they get 15 rays of sun, then we have like a class reward. So the kids really seem to enjoy that. And then underneath are my SOAR rules, I have our words of the week. So during our interactive read alouds or during different parts of our day, if I find words that I think are important for the kids to know or might be interesting for them to use, we talk about them and we go ahead and write them up, and then every time someone uses one of those words throughout the week, they go ahead and put a tally underneath that word, and we see how many times we can use that word the correct way. So that's something a little fun for them as well. And then going back to a little bit about behavior, I also have down here something called our class bucket, which was a whole lesson, a few lessons that we did on just filling each other's bucket and saying kind words to people to kind of lift their spirits. So that's something that goes along with our behavior as well. And then next to that, I have my word wall. Now, this is kind of away from all of the other literacy boards that I have, but it was kind of where this worked for this year. So it's over here. I don't know if I necessarily like it over here, but this is where it is. And then over here in that corner, I have some filing cabinets for storage. I don't have any closets in my room, so this is basically, I have cabinets kind of to store everything. Then I just have some things that we did throughout the year on the walls. Over here I have mailboxes for the students as well, so that there aren't tons of papers always on their desks, but every time I need to send a note home or every time I grade papers, it goes in their mailbox so that it's easy for them to go ahead and collect at the end of the day and put right into their folders. So that's kind of like an organizational aspect of keeping their papers together. And then above that I have be a STAR helper, so I have some jobs for the kids during the week and they rotate each week as to what job that they will work with. Then if you take a look down, this is all along the windows, and there's storage in these shelves here. So in these first shelves here, I just have storage for construction paper, for cleaning supplies, and then next to that, which I keep closed, and then next to that I have more construction paper that the kids can use and more extra supplies that the kids can also use, like markers, crayons, color pencils, glue, extra scissors. So this is kind of like an extra supply area that the students know that they can come to if they need any supplies. On top of the shelves here, I have a bin for their finished work. So they know their homework can go in here, anything that we're doing throughout the day. Whenever they finish it, it gets put in here so that I can collect it and grade it at the end of the day. Then I also have a notes bin next to it, so if there are any notes from parents or notes that need to go to the office, they're in 2 separate piles so that it's easy for me to just pick them up right at the beginning of the day and then go ahead and look at them and see what needs to be sent downstairs. I don't have to go rummaging through the finished work bin. And then next to that, I have all my writing supplies. So I would like to kind of put this together in a better area, but this is kind of what works for now. So I have this tray here, which houses all the different kinds of writing paper and the writing tools that they might need. I have their tiny topic notebooks, alphabet charts, and then I have their writing folders separated by cluster. And then I have a date stamper as well as stamps and tape. And usually there's a stapler there so that the students can kind of grab the supplies they need when they need it and do what they need to do with them during Writer's Workshop. Then further down is where I have their writing conference folders and their reading conference folders. They're out so I can easily grab them, but like we talked about last week, I might go ahead and change some of that. Then I have some of my own supplies, okay? Some organizational caddy is over here. And then I have our dry erase markers, socks, and our whiteboards ready for use. So the students know that when it's time to get a whiteboard, I call them by cluster, they form a line, they get a whiteboard, they move down the line, get a sock, then they get a marker, and then they go on their way to wherever they need to be in the room. And then down at the very end, I have all of my teacher's manuals and booklets and teaching books and activity books and all of my supplies down here in a corner so that I can, take care of everything I need to over here. In these closets, I have all of our games and toys for indoor recess. Then I also have a cabinet for all of my math supplies. So these 2 cabinets are all math supplies organized in containers and labeled. And then in this last cabinet, I have all language arts supplies also in containers and labeled so that I know exactly where they are. And if I need the kids to go and find something, it's easy for them to find as well and pull out. So that is kind of that side of the room. Then I have their birthdays up there. I have a welcome sign to kind of keep it a little festive as well for them. Then this is my desk towards the back of the room. I'm thinking that next year I actually might get rid of it because sometimes I think it's more of a mess than it is a help. So I have it in the back of the room though, away from the kids, and I'm barely ever sitting at my desk, so I might actually get rid of it next year so I have more room in my classroom. In the back here is where the kids hang up their coats and their jackets. And their book bags and their lunch boxes go in the bin, so it's kept in the back of the room again, away from everybody. I don't have cubbies or closets, so it goes right here in the classroom. And then next to that, I have my computer, which is on top of kind of like a storage cart. And basically under here, I have art supplies and craft supplies, party supplies, everything is kind of organized in there, and I put a cloth over it so that it doesn't look as messy. Above that, I hang student writing that has been out in the hallway, because normally I hang it out in the hallway, but once we publish another unit, I go ahead and hang the old piece in the classroom so that the students can still see it and they're still encouraged to continue to write. Then in this corner over here is kind of like my small group area where I have my table. I have leveled readers, I have an easel, I have markers, supplies, books. Also behind the table, that one cabinet is kind of like a storage area as well with books, but then also classroom decorations and just those little things that I have nowhere to put. So I can fit up to 6 kids here. I can take as little as 2, but this is a nice area to just kind of pull them back away from the rest of the class and to work with them. Then along this side of the classroom, I have bulletin boards and bookshelves. So going down this side, my books in the front are organized by level, and then the next 3 Bookshelves are organized by topic or author or genre. And then above that, the bulletin boards, I have 2 writing bulletin boards with my posters. And right now, we're learning about writing informational books. Then the first 2 bulletin boards are about reading. So I have like how to work with partners, ways to start conversations. I have our sound friends. I have our book shopping days. I have our 5 sight words that we're learning each week. I have my read aloud partners. If I'm doing a shared reading poem, I have that up as well. And then I also have what we're working on. We're working on nonfiction reading. Then if I come to the very front of the room, I have my calendar. I have a poster for writing partners and reading partners. I have my whiteboard where I can write my morning message, and I do a lot of lessons there. I also have big books on the side if I'm using them for shared reading. And then I also have my own ample supply of books behind the easel that I can pull from for interactive read-alouds and as mentor text. Underneath the easel, which is a nice thing, I have a few bins that I can use for storage. Sometimes it's a little hard to keep them organized, but I do. And that's basically the outside of the room. I'll kind of give you like a full picture of it. This is the meeting area here. The kids sit on the map of the United States. That's their place to sit. And then I have their desks arranged in clusters. So I have 4 clusters, some of 4, some of 5 kids. And their book boxes are on their desks currently. Usually at the end of the day, their book boxes, I have them line them up in the bookshelves. But right now we're working on holiday gifts and they're drying over there. So they're on their desks. So it looks a little bit messy, but usually they are not there. They are on the bookshelves when they come in the morning. Also on each cluster is a caddy of supplies. I don't really like having the supplies in their desks because they tend to always have their hands in the desks and they can just be a little fussy about things. So I have caddies on their desk with glue, erasers, crayons, markers, scissors, and pencils. So everything is right here for them. So that is basically it. I hope you enjoyed looking at my classroom, and thank you.